Oh, hello. Welcome to the Mermaid Tavern. Merry Christmas. Hope you're having a very Merry Christmas. And chin chin, skål, slunchava, and bottoms up. Mm. Christmas. Beatles. 45 years ago. 45 years ago, this Christmas. I just, this year, bought them actually. I got them relatively cheap, but Radio Timeses for Christmas. This is the Christmas issue. And then the week before Christmas. If you don't know, if you're not from this, if I'm lucky to have anybody who's not from this country, from America, from anywhere else in the world, I'm really, really glad to see you. But these are the Radio Times, and this was just BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation, just their output. And nowadays, the Radio Times still exists, and long since they've had all the channels for all the how many channels there are now. But this was just two television channels, BBC One, BBC Two, and also Radio One, Radio Two, Radio Three, Radio Four. That was it. That was it. And of course, sounding me out, sounding my age, aren't I? But yeah, do you know what? It's been a real nostalgia looking through this. I used to get an excitement, didn't you, about the Christmas Radio Times? I still do. I saw it the other day, and then you look through it and you think, it's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same. But I looked through this, and almost everything, not quite everything, almost every program in here, I kind of want to see. I want to see. I want to see. I want to see it now. Some of them are out on here on YouTube, aren't they? But this was the Christmas that the Beatles film shown, and the week before, this cover with actor Robert Hardy playing Sir Malcolm Campbell, the famous race driver back in the 1930s and Speed King. I remember my dad, he was one of my dad's heroes when he grew up. But my dad had clippings of him from newspapers in the 1930s. He was known as Speed King. And his son was Donald Campbell, was killed on a bluebird. But the bluebird he made famous. Anyway, I'm digressing. It was this particular one, which is dated the 15th to the 21st of December, 1979. And this was the one that had Magical Mystery Tour in it. Magical Mystery Tour. Yeah. Magical Mystery Tour. What do they say? Late Beatles television special that came in for some massively hostile publicity after its first showing. A decade later, I have a feeling it may come up looking rather better. Because, of course, it was terribly criticised, wasn't it? It wasn't strictly a movie, was it? It was shown on television in 1967 on, was it Boxing Day or something like that? But it was shown, of course, in black and white because most people had black and white televisions, didn't they, back then? It was made in colour, of course, but I think they repeated it some time afterwards in colour. But, Magical Mystery Tour in black and white. I think it's still entertaining. I love Magical Mystery Tour. I don't know about you. I love it. I love it. For years, I couldn't see it. This was the first time I saw it. I remember, because I'd got into the Beatles. I've gone on about this elsewhere, if you've joined me here. And I got into the Beatles like a year or two before. So it was all new to me. I'd never seen their movies. Because you couldn't. They weren't available. VHS tapes were just coming out, I think. I think that was it the Complete Beatles, that documentary that come out very quick. I seem to remember getting that maybe pretty early on, which isn't even available anymore now, is it? I think it's on here. The Complete Beatles. Malcolm McDowell, the actor, kind of narrates the documentary, But there was nothing, no source, and these films didn't come out till years and years later. In the case of Let It Be, it's only just come out, hasn't it? About when did it come out? Early this year, was it? Or, anyway, but yeah, this was the Christmas that they were all shown, and it was shown on Friday, the 21st of December, 1979. Let's show you the. This was magical. BBC used to do seasons of people's movies, like Marlon. I remember seeing Marlon Brando's movies for the first time, maybe a year or two after that. They did all of them, from The Men, Tea House, August Moon, and all the, of course, On the Waterfront and The Wild One, and I love that. And there was one about Charles Lawton too, Hunchback of Notre Dame, and some of his other great movies. I got to know these actors from these seasons that the BBC used to do. It was hugely exciting, honestly. I used to get a thrill from going through the Radio Times. Here we are. The Beatles at Christmas Magical Mystery Tour. Can you see? I'm going to hold it up. I'm not going to do anything as impressive. Just after Laurel and Hardy, at 5:40 p.m., 6:10. The Beatles at Christmas. Can you see? Yeah. This was the very first time, as I say, Friday, the 21st of December 1979, that I saw Magical Mystery Tour. Yeah, I love it. I really do. I love it. I think if I'd seen it back in 1967, even in black and white, I'd have still adored it, you know. And it's surreal, isn't it? I Am the Walrus is just up there with one of my top 10 of Beatles songs. I love it. I just love it. It's great sounding as well as all the sort of wonderful lyrics and things, and the video in here. I think John looks really cool in 1967, doesn't he? You know, in that hat with the feather on it and going around. You know, there's no business like show business. There's no business I know. Every and I had one of those. They're yellow and red striped ties. They're MCC Lords cricket club in London, very very popular. The MCC, the Marylebone Cricket Club. That was the yellow and red stripy tie. That was the one he had, I think. I had one of those at one time. Can't remember what it is now. That pinstripe jacket and the sort of Homburg hat with a feather in it, wasn't it? I think it looked cool. All of them looked cool. I loved it on that bus, that coach, as we call them in England, coaches, going round. You know, what's it on the on the Dewsbury Read? They're on the Dewsbury Road and they're having a lovely time. Victor Spinetti doing his mad sergeant. And Victor was wonderful to talk to at Beatles conventions about this and all the movies. You know, he said, didn't he? He said George wanted him to be in all the movies after he'd originally been in Hard Day's Night and Help. He said, "You got to be in this. You got to be in this." This was Victor's impression of George. "You got to be in this, Vic, because my mum loves you." Magical Mystery Tour. This was the first time I saw it. So that was the week before Christmas, and then we get into the big. It was a double 22nd, Saturday 22nd to the 4th of January 1980. So that means Monday the 24th, Tuesday the 25th of December. I need a refresher. Let's have a look at this. I mean, this okay, it's magical. I just looked through this and it's just Judy Christie. Don't Look Now. Oh, I love Judy Christie. Some of the movies in here, there's some great ones. Just everything in here, even the television. I just want to watch it now. You know, I just want to go back in a time machine to Christmas 1979. My dear dad was still alive. A family, a really nice house. Very lucky, and it was blessed. Honestly, it was blessed. I really count my blessings. Sorry to gush, you know. Sorry to gush, you know. So here we've got. Does it start with that? There's a little piece about the Beatles in here. I think written by Ray Connolly, the journalist. He wrote a bit about the Beatles, didn't he? I think Ray Connolly. There we go. Talk amongst yourselves a moment, won't you? I'm so grateful for people watching me here. I really am. You know, I don't flatter myself that everything I do is going to be scintillatingly interesting to people. All I wanted to do was just talk to people, talk to you like we here at the Mermaid Tavern. Like we're having a conversation in the pub of something as wonderful as the Beatles, It was exactly 12 years ago, the first take-up in the glittering successful career of the Beatles was screened, as I say, about Magical Mystery Tour. I won't read it all. It's a nice little article actually in the Radio Times from 1979, the Beatles films being shown. And I think I was talking to my friend Mark about this. He's a little older than me now, not actually only a couple of years, and as to when they were shown before this. And I don't think they've been shown for quite a long time before this. There's the piece in the Radio Times about them, and of course this is the issue week before Christmas, up to the 21st, that Magical Mystery Tour was screened. And then we have the main issue, the double issue. These are worth quite a bit of money now. If you've got one, or if you see one cheap, I paid. I think I paid about near £40 for both of these two. This one was more sought after, but I got them down on eBay, and I just wanted them. I bought them ages ago. I bought them earlier this year, actually, without even thinking I was going to do a little thing. I just wanted to have them as a sort of souvenir because a long time. I did actually keep Radio Timeses, did you, for years and years afterwards, particularly the Christmas ones. And then, they've got lost over the years, or given away, or thrown away. I know. But they are worth it if you've got some old copies of Radio, particularly the Christmas ones, with the cover art, 1960s, 1970s. They're worth a lot of money. They go, I mean, as I maybe pay £20 for this one, but twice that much. I've seen them go for, yeah. So here we go with the Radio Times. And what have we got? We've got the Saturday, that's the 22nd. We've got the Beatles at Shea Stadium. I mean, that wasn't really a movie, was it? As such, it was a concert. Was it shown at? Do you know what? It pays to do your research. Like Parlogram Auctions or somebody, one of the better sites on here about the Beatles would know about this. Beatles at Shea. Beatlemania hits America. These recorded highlights are from their first concert on their triumphant 1965 tour. Beatles at Shea Stadium. Not the Cuban guerrilla leader Shea Stadium as the Ruttles. Got the Ruttles! I've got the Ruttles into it again. I have to get the Ruttles. I missed out Help. So Help was on Saturday the 22nd at 6:35 p.m. Then the Beatles at Shea. Never seen Help before at all. Obviously had the soundtrack. I had the Beatles album Help, and seen clips of it for quite a few years before this, but never seen it until it was shown this Christmas 1979. So yeah, Help was on the Saturday the 22nd. Shea Stadium, Beatles at Shea was on Sunday the 23rd. Christmas Eve, got Yellow Submarine. What a great movie for Christmas Eve, Yellow Submarine. It was shown fairly early, about 5:40. Tea time, as we say. Tea time. Time for tea, time for bed. Not quite. I was a bit older than that then. I was 15. 15 in 1979. February 1979 I was 15. So 15 this Christmas. Yeah. Not the sort of 15-year-olds you get today, though. And then Christmas Day. What's Hard Day's Night? Christmas Day. And then we finally have, what do we have coming up on Boxing Day? By the way, Hard Day's Night is shown at 3 o'clock on Christmas Day. Did I watch it? Yeah, I think I did. It's on at the same time as the Queen, as the late Queen, her speech, of course. So, yeah. Now I'm wondering, did I watch it? Did I watch Hard Day's Night? Then, do you know, I'm starting to wonder. I definitely saw Help, and I definitely saw Yellow Submarine and Magical Mystery Tour, but would I have seen? We couldn't record programs then, so I'm feeling now, because it was shown at Christmas Day at 3 o'clock. I didn't see it then, so let's put this video out, isn't it? I saw all the Christmas films, 1979, apart from Hard Day's Night. Anyway, so, but yeah, Help I definitely saw. Help, of course, was repeated here in England on the evening of John Lennon's murder. They showed BBC One showed Help. Which I'd already seen from this, and it was, I loved Help actually. I love them both. For me, Help's got the slight edge over Hard Day's Night. I love Hard Day's Night. Don't get me wrong, I love it, really love it. But I like Help. I really do. It's got the Beatles, and yeah, I love it. It's very joyous. It's joyous. It's what it is. Joyous. Of course, the Monkees TV series. My sister liked the Monkees. She was more that generation than the Beatles. Monkees TV series was virtually copied carte blanche from Help, wasn't it? Lots of things in there that are copied from Help. Anyway, they were great, the Monkees. Let me just show you a few of the pages if you're interested. I'm not assuming you will be interested. There's the Beatles at Shea. There's the Beatles at Shea Stadium. You see that? Again, they're all on BBC Two. BBC Two was the sort of secondary channel to BBC One, of course, being Two, but it was more known for its more arty coverage than the mainstream BBC One. So this was BBC Two, and they got Help. You see, Help, the Beatles at Christmas, Help. Yeah, Help. Then we've got yeah, Yellow Submarine. Yellow Submarine coming in at 5:40, as I say, tea time on Christmas Eve. Oh, I love Christmas Eve, don't you? I love Christmas excitement. I still get the excitement of a kid on Christmas Eve, even though Christmas Day, even though it's lovely to be around your family and everybody, it's always a little bit of a downer, isn't it? I still think Christmas Eve is where the magic is. It always is magical. And this was particularly magical. I love Yellow Submarine, don't you? I know the Beatles were anti it originally, weren't they, because of that Al Brodax, and they didn't like the American, the cartoon series. But so they were very anti it. But it was done with TV. I think it was done in England, wasn't it? Some of the animators, and it was done very, very well, wasn't it? I heard a few years ago they were talking about remaking it. Please don't, please don't. You'll never do it as good. The Blue Meanies and everything. I love it. I love Yellow Submarine. Really love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. How much can you love something? How much can you love something? I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. And then we had Christmas Day, which is the one I don't think I did see. Yeah, I'm pretty sure now, because it would have been contrasting with the Queen, uh, the Queen's Christmas Day broadcast. You can see Hard Day's Night. Yeah, yeah, the Queen. Yeah, you see, look, uh, just after Top of the Pops, 1979, which, if you're interested, has Blondie. Loved Blondie, didn't you? Loved Debbie Harry and loved but all those singles like Heart of Glass and Sunday Girl. Oh yeah, it's got Blondie, Boney M. Not that into Boney M's Christmas record, even though Lena Martell, One Day at a Time, Gary Newman, like Gary Newman, The Police, Cliff Richard, B.A. Robertson, Roxy Music. Just after that, because that was always on. If you're from this country, you'll know that Top of the Pops is always on. The Top of the Pops Christmas special. It was. Do you know what? I should have checked it. Who was? Do you know who Christmas number one was in 1979? Answers and comments. No prizes. And let's find where let it. I'm going to wind this up in a minute in case you think I'm going on far too long with this reminiscence about the. Yeah, there we are. Finally, Let It Be. Look at that. Let It Be. Beatles at Christmas, the last film. Let It Be. It was on at 5:50 p.m. on Boxing Day. That's the day after Christmas Day, if you don't know. Our tradition of having Boxing Day, the holiday. And Beatles Christmas Let It Be. Concluding our festive season of the Beatles, Let It Be is a film record, impromptu and unrehearsed, of the Beatles at work and at play in what was to be their last appearance together on film. The group are featured in over 20 of their own numbers and several rock and roll standards, produced by Neil Aspinall. We know that well, don't we? But remember how long it was before Let It Be was out there? You could get it, couldn't you, as an unofficial release? And again, it was shown a few years later. Oh, I don't know when, 83, 84, 85. And did you tape it off the telly on VHS tape? And I had it for years. And it wasn't too bad a copy. Then I somehow put it onto a disc or something, and I had that. I still got it actually. But of course, the new one's come out. It's been on Disney, hasn't it? It hasn't actually come out still, has it, commercially? But I don't have Disney, and I did manage to see Get Back documentary when that was on. Great, wasn't it? So great watching all that, wasn't it? Almost Let It Be pales into insignificance after that. But if they release it on that Blu-ray, I'll definitely buy it. But it wasn't so. In those days, the Beatles movies were so difficult to see. I went to my first Beatles convention at the Adelphi, the Liverpool Beatles convention, which I went to virtually every one in the 1980s. First one I went to was 1980. I remember that. And they had screening rooms for them, didn't they? And you watched it, and it was like magical, wasn't it? Because they weren't accessible. Was it Fenno Workman? I didn't remember that name, Fenno Workman. He was the one that did all the videos or laid them on. Of course, they weren't officially available, and lots of other rare footage as well. But nowadays, you can see everything on YouTube, can't you? And these Beatles films are available, aren't they? Even Let It Be, that's not been available for years, is available. Has been available. Everyone's got copies of it. But it's nice to see it being on Disney, and hopefully it will come out very soon on DVD Blu-ray. And Shea, that's not officially available, has it? The Shea Stadium film, the concert at 65. Though I'm sure you have got good copies of it, which are unofficially available. Has that been shown since? I've forgotten. And of course, good copies of Help and Hard Day's Night. And Magical Mystery Tour came out a few years ago, didn't it? A special edition with did you buy it in the box with the British EP and the the album, the movie, of course, and the TV movie. I love it. I don't know which one's my favorite. Which one's your favorite? It's hard, isn't it? I've got a special affection for both Magical Mystery Tour and Yellow Submarine because of this Christmas 1979 when I saw them, and Help as well. And I must have seen Hard Day's Night at a Beatles convention, I think. Maybe it was that one in 1980. Do you know, I've got a real strong feeling for these things that I've got a real strong feeling that I had seen it before John's murder. Yeah, I think I saw it at that 1980 Liverpool Beatles convention. Fenno Workman, bless him, where's he now? Wasn't there Keith Badman later on too? He was doing that. I seem to remember him. I know he wrote books, but did he do showings of movies? I remember Fenno Workman because Liz and Jim Hughes. Oh, Liz and Jim Hughes. They were the best. Did you ever meet Liz and Jim? They ran the Magical Mystery store on North John Street. I remember going there, like 1978. You have to go down the steps. There was a sort of record shop showing punk records, and they were downstairs, weren't they? Little Beatles shrine. But they were so welcoming, so friendly. She was a nurse, and he was a fireman, and they were the most lovely people. Every time we're in there, they remember my name, and they tell me things about. I miss them, and they were the ones that organised the first, the Beatles convention, I think. And Alan Williams had done the ones before that, I think. Liz and Jim, they got, after John's murder, I remember Jim saying to me, we can't compete anymore. All the city council getting involved, cavern walks had gone up, all the money had gone into it all, we couldn't compete with this. And yeah, bless them though. They were the most wonderful couple, and I know the Cavern Club, the Beatle Week, still salute Liz and Jim, and rightly so too, because they were wonderful. Right, that's it. I'm going to let you go. Thank you very much for spending all this time with me, reminiscing about the Radio Times 1979 when I saw the Beatles movies for the very first time. It was a joyous and a really happy memory from my childhood. I was 15, still a child, and but it was joyous. Thank you ever so much. Bless you. I hope you're having a wonderful Christmas, and whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a wonderful time. Bless you. Will I see you again? I hope so. Bless you. Oh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Four lagers and lime and four lagers and lime. Should have got a lager and lime, shouldn't I? Four lagers and can I have four lagers and lime and four lagers and lime. I like lager and lime. The Beatles drink. The Beatles drink along with rum and coke. Those are the two Beatles drinks, I think. Yeah.